And it's Ken Kraetzer for Sons of the American Legion Radio. We're covering Army football, and a big day coming up. Army has been invited, accept an invitation to play in the Independence Bowl down in Shreveport, Louisiana. And we have a chance to talk with the chairman of the host committee of the Independence Bowl Foundation. That is Frank Auer. Frank, good to see you today. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, Ken. Nice to be with you.
Well, pleasure. Now, unfortunately, we didn't get a chance to say hello, but you were up at West Point a couple of weeks ago when Army won its sixth game of the year, and you offered an invitation to the bowl game, which Army quickly accepted, to the Independence Bowl in your town of Shreveport. Tell us a little bit about that experience at West Point.
Well, it was a once-in-a-lifetime experience to be in that locker room after the game, but the whole weekend was great. My wife went up with me. We enjoyed seeing the campus. We actually had a West Point grad that is one of the officers with Radiance Technologies, the sponsor of the bowl, and he's a graduate of West Point, and he took us around to all of the historic sites and so forth before the game on game day, and then we were just treated so well by everyone at West Point, and it was an exciting game. We were treated to Army just really doing what Army does, which is wear down their opponents and play smart, tough football, and just ended up with a strong win. And then I was invited into the locker room to extend the invitation to Army. And again, for somebody like me to be able to go into a D1 football program locker room after a game is truly a once in a lifetime experience, and one that I will never forget.
I'm sure they were very excited to have you join them to hear that invitation and to accept it. Tell us, if you would, a little bit about the history of the Independence Bowl. Army was there about 25 years ago. I remember the team going down there for that event. And there is a lot of history to a game where it snowed one time. I guess unusual for Louisiana, but tell us a little bit about the history of your game.
Independence Bowl, this is our 45th year, continuous year holding the bowl. We are the 11th oldest bowl in the NCAA. We have a proud history. We've had 7 national championship coaches prowling the sidelines of the Independence Bowl. We've had a tremendous number of draft picks, high draft picks, and some really exciting games and players that have had great careers in the NFL. So we've just had a lot of, been very fortunate to have a lot of great coaches and great players at the Independence Bowl.
And tell us a little bit about the organization, your foundation. I understand you have several hundred members. What does it take in an organization? What do you do year round? I'm sure just to find the sponsorship and to do all the plans to make it a very gracious event for people to attend.
One of the things that we pride ourselves on, and something that we get continual feedback on, is that we are the most hospitable bowl that these teams get to visit. We hear that a lot, and we focus on that. We think it's very important that we do that. Let's see, that was part of your question. What was another part of it?
And just how is it to generate sponsorship for the game? You have a title sponsor. Tell us a little about the sponsors of your event.
Well, I do want to start with the title sponsor, Radiance Technologies. Radiance is a defense contractor. They work, their biggest single customer, as a matter of fact, is the U.S. Army. And Radiance just does a fantastic job with anything they touch. Their record of performance of the projects that they've taken with the Army are just fantastic. I happen to be friends with the CEO of Radiance. We've known each other for several years. And when there was an opening or an opportunity for a new title sponsor, we talked with Bill. Bill Bailey is the CEO of Radiance Technologies. We talked to Bill, and he said, that might be a good idea. We're getting of the size. Radiance has grown tremendously, and we're getting of the size now that we want more people to be aware of our size and our capabilities. So we talked to them and we entered into a 5-year agreement. They're going to be the title sponsor for the bowl for 5 years. And I have to tell you, they are the dream title sponsor. Everything that we need, that we talk to them about, they agree to. They're excited about it. They're an employee-owned company, and their employees are really excited about it. We allocated a certain number of tickets to them, and we just had a conversation with them. They need more for their employees that want to go to the game. So it's just been a dream scenario with them. When you go below the title sponsor, then yes, we get sponsorships. Most of those are from local companies that want the exposure and want to help the area. The Independence Bowl is the largest one-day economic event in Northwest Louisiana every year. And we have civic-minded businesses that really want to help that. They're proud of that and want to help that and gain exposure for the city and the area for hosting this event. And we provide national exposure that really you can't get any other way.
One of the things that I thought of immediately when Army announced that they would be participating in the Independence Bowl in Louisiana was your proximity to Fort Polk, which is a major Army base. And as we were discussing earlier, a point of departure and training for many Army units before deployments. Many National Guard units, including ones from New York, have trained down there before they left on serious deployments. Tell us a little bit about being close to Fort Polk and some of the other Army bases in your region.
Yes, Fort Polk is about 2 hours away. It is, of course, a major employer in Louisiana. And I was telling you before that my father was actually from Chicago and was sent to Fort Polk for exactly the reason that you talked about prior to his deployment in World War II. So I have some personal experience from that, and that's why we now live in Louisiana, even though he grew up in Chicago. So Fort Polk is, we're very proud in this area of Louisiana, and probably most of the state, but particularly in Northwest Louisiana, we strongly support our military. This is an area where we believe in our country. We stand for the flag. You know, we kneel for prayer and we stand for the flag, and we just are so excited to continue our traditions here. And Army helps us do that. And then there's a depot at Texarkana, which is about an hour north of Shreveport. We have had for a long time what we call the Shell Plant, which is just east of Shreveport-Bossier, about 25 miles, where ammunition was made, ordnance was made for many years. So we just have a lot of military influence in this area and have a very large Air Force base in Bossier City.
Very close by. And we're talking with Frank Auer, who is the chairman of the host committee, the Independence Bowl Foundation. Army will be playing in the Independence Bowl on December 26th. We're looking forward to that. Interesting, one of the commentators was saying that it's interesting that Army was invited to the game before the opponent from the Pac-12 had played a game yet this year. How does it work with your affiliation with the Pac-12? Is there a number in the conference that would typically be invited?
Typically, that number would be 7th, and 2 of the bowls that would pick ahead of us are not having games this year. And as a result, we're now the 5th pick in the Pac-12, at least as it stands right now. And we're excited about that. And Army is really excited to be playing an even higher quality opponent and show them what they can do against a Power 5 opponent.
Very good. I know Jeff Munkin will be excited about that. And tell us a little bit about the game day experience in Shreveport. I understand that it's about 25% capacities on spectators is going to be allowed by the governor there.
That's right. The COVID restriction in Louisiana right now is 25% for an event like this. And we don't anticipate right now that that's going to change, although it may, and we're trying to to see if we could have that increase slightly. But 25% would put about 12,500 people in the stands, and the demand for the tickets has been strong. We just are very happy to be able to hold the bowl game. We're happy that our governor is letting us hold it even at 25%, and that there will be fans in the stands. Game day experience. We're going to have tailgates. Louisiana is famous for tailgates and great food and Zydeco music and all of that sort of thing. And we're going to have a lot of that, particularly since the kickoff is during prime time at 6 o'clock in the evening. And so all day long, we will be out there early and often, and it will be a party.
Well, it sounds great. I'm hoping that I can get down there for the game. Tell us a little bit now, how did you get involved in this? I always like to ask guests sort of their path to what they do, and how did you get involved with college football and the Independence Bowl?
Well, with college football, of course, going to college, my undergraduate degree is at Louisiana Tech and my graduate degree from LSU. And so I've supported those two football programs all my life, and tailgated in the same spot for 31 years myself. I've been, I would say, civic minded through most of my career, and I was approached by a guy that was soon to be chairman of the Independence Bowl, and asked me to chair a committee that they had never had before, and it was to put tents up on the mezzanine, the south mezzanine of the Independence Bowl, and we go in there with all the food they can eat, everything they can drink, and set up these tents. It's like being in the club level. We have heaters in there and so forth. But he asked me to start that program, so that was my first exposure to working within. I said I would, and I've worked with the Independence Bowl, then hospitality committees and various game day committees and various roles with the bowl. You have to go through a lot of different roles before you're eligible to be chairperson. And I just stayed with it. It's been about 20 years, but I've just enjoyed it, and enjoyed meeting the people and doing all of the things that are necessary to put on a truly hospitable event.
Very good. And Frank Auer, the chairman of the Independence Bowl Foundation, you have a final thought for us today about as we look forward to we have Army Navy coming up and a makeup game against Air Force. We got a couple of games on Army scheduled before the Independence Bowl, but I know everybody at West Point is looking forward to that once the Service Academy games are taken care of.
I guess my final thought is that this is going to be a really exciting game. Army plays a tough, and I call it a smart brand of football, because for you to run the offense that they run, you really have to have your act together. The offensive line does, and the running backs and so forth. And you're going to take that against a Power 5 team from a conference which is historically known for just slinging it all over the place. And I think the contrasting styles are going to be very interesting and provide us all a very exciting game.
Yeah, we'll be looking forward to that. And Frank Auer, thank you for your time today. Thank you for what you do to support college football. And I know everybody at West Point is very appreciative of the invitation from your bowl game to play there on December 26th. So we'll look forward to that. And really, best wishes from everybody at the American Legion.
Thank you, Ken. I appreciate it very much, and hope I get to meet you game day.
Okay, look forward to. I hope we can get down there. Hey, this is Ken Kraetzer for Sons of the American Legion Radio, based at Squadron 135 in White Plains, New York, and we're covering Army football. Have a great day, everyone.